day we've been waiting for. Mike McDaniel's press conference. And this is going to be a long one. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, we've been waiting for this day for a couple days, a while. Every day we're like, is it today? Is it today? Is it today? It is the day. Mike McDaniel's today at 10 a.m. met with the media. The video is about 56 and a half minutes, right? I skipped ahead to about 13 minutes and 25 seconds when Mike McDaniel starts his press conference. So it's like a 40-something minute video. I'm going to try and react to the whole thing. I think he talks the entire time. So this video is going to be a long one. So without further ado, without messing around, let's pop it up, scoot myself over, and let's jump into it.
All right, it's an honor and a privilege to stand in front of you guys here as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. You know, any man standing at a podium like this would be honored. It's a tremendous accomplishment. You'd feel great about that. But that's not why you get into coaching. It's standing at this podium. You get into coaching because you love to coach football. You love to teach, and you love to make people better. And that's exactly who I am, who I have been, and who I'll be as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I'd like to thank those wonderful words from both Steve Ross and Chris Grier. I really appreciate the opportunity and the responsibility, really, and it is a big one. But I'd like to talk about me coming here to Miami about a week ago. You know, I was coming here to interview for a dream position, a dream of mine. And that's what I thought it was. But as I walked through this building, the gorgeous building we stand in, saw the people, looked into their eyes, felt their passion, I quickly realized that this was my dream job, and I had to go get it. That one of the things that really struck me with the Miami Dolphins organization was their interest in general. You know, it's a lot easier to go after a guy after 5 other teams have interviewed him, put him on a list. You know, traditionally, that's the way it works, where people want whoever other people are interviewing. This was not the case. They looked at me for me, and that really galvanized my interest in this organization and really told me a lot about who was really targeting me. Told me a lot about what they were looking for, and that's why I knew it would be a good fit. You know, interviewing with Steve Ross, Chris Grier, Brandon Shore, Tom Garfinkel, it didn't take me long to realize this was the place that I was meant to be, so I better not screw this interview up. You take a look at the facility that's built here, which is, I feel like I'm in an SEC school. It's incredible. The stadium, everything going on around it. I think it kind of epitomizes Steve's vision. And that vision is broad, it's grand, and it's trying to be great. And that's what I'm here to get the football to. And that's what we'll do. And really, that's why I feel honor and I feel privileged just being up here in front of you guys today. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the immense amount of people that had to do with me even having this opportunity. You know, starting with Kyle Shanahan, Jed York, and his family, John Lynch, and the 49ers organization. They're a first-class organization and really helped facilitate me coming into my own, I feel like. And without the players who is the people that you really get into this business for, all their support, all their hard work, and their commitment, none of this would have been possible, and I thank all the 49er players as well.
I don't know if you guys know this, but during the Pro Bowl, Kittle FaceTime Mike McDaniel and was talking with him on the sideline. So, I hear a lot of people, hesitant about, can he be a leader of men? Can he lead the locker room? People underestimate how many of the 49er players really like Mike McDaniel, really fought for Mike McDaniel, and still have an open communication with him. So it's something to keep in mind.
To get in a spot like this, it's almost overwhelming to think about how many people are along the ride with you, that if one of them doesn't decide to invest in you, you may never get this opportunity. It's one of the great things about coaching and the coaching profession is it takes a village to just get one individual capable of doing a job like this. I can go down the list, starting with Mike Shanahan, gave me my first job. It was unpaid, though, so he didn't pay very well. Gary Kubiak, who gave me my first paid job with the Houston Texans. Kyle Shanahan, obviously. I would have, I'm not sure what I'd be doing if it wasn't for him. You talk about guys like Sean McVay, Chris, Matt LaFleur, Bobby Turner, Dan Quinn, Raheem Morris, Mike LaFleur. The list goes on and on. I don't want to drain your guys' eardrums with that, but there's just so many people, and I appreciate all of those men that helped me become the man I am today. Each individual that I mentioned and each coach have been really privileged to work alongside. They made me a better man, a better coach, a better teacher, and that's really what my focus is in life. They didn't make me a better father. I did that on my own. I'd like to thank Richmond Flowers. It is surreal, man. Came a long way, and you know how much I appreciate you. Ann Noland. This emotional day for me, and you made it somewhat coherent, I hope. Obviously, my family. My wife, Katie McDaniel. We've come a long way. We got a long way to go. Don't do that to me. I'm trying to do a press conference. And my daughter, Ayla June McDaniel. You're a miracle, and I can't wait to see what you grow into. Now back to what we're all here for. So football. Okay, and the Miami Dolphins, and what you can expect from us, okay? Schematically, offense, defense, special teams, you're going to see a unique design of everything that's tailored to our players. That's why it will be unique to us, because we'll tailor everything to our players, and that's first and foremost.
That's huge. Because for how long and for how many different coaches did we have players come in and they had to adapt to what the coach has installed versus, tailoring it to the players. So that's huge.
But really the picture I'd like to present and what I'm here to do with the assistance of all these wonderful people is create a brand of football here that is known as Miami football. And what that is, in Miami Dolphin football, is all about passion, energy. You should be able to turn on the TV and know who the team is, even if the color's distorted, by the energy that they play with, by how they bond together, things that you only get with true work and bond together, okay? It's a team sport, and we're going to play as a team, and I promise you that we'll feel that. The whole thing that makes football so magical, the whole reason I've devoted my professional life to it, is you have all these people with different interests focused on one common goal, okay? That one common goal of winning, winning often, winning playoff games, and winning Super Bowls. Okay? And that goal is what drives us, but it's the bond and everything we go through in that process that makes it memorable and makes it worth doing what we do. It's the essence of sports, really, and it epitomizes what the Miami Dolphins will become. I feel unbelievably fortunate, and it is so exciting to come into a team of energy, of youth, of talent, but more so of hunger that really matches the city of Miami, the fans, and every person that is employed by the Miami Dolphins. I felt it immediately when I walked in the door. It gives me goosebumps right now to be a part of something like that. An organization, this is my 7th, and I feel like when you're hired and fired that many times and bouncing around the NFL, you get a glimpse at a lot of things, and you know when something has the ability to be great. And that's all I feel walking in and out of these hallways, and I can't wait to serve each and every one of you. I think collectively, one of the most powerful things within these hallways, within this organization, that I think should be focused on is the lack of ego and the drive with a common goal. You know, as in interviewing in this process, it's all about one thing, and that is a rarity, something special, and I am so fortunate to be a part of. But that collectivity and working together for with a shared sacrifice is something that can't be replicated, and I'm extremely fortunate to be a part of. Now, I think this is always odd because you're getting all hyped up for a media session, and then we just go back and study film, put coaching staffs together, and then get ready to practice. Hopefully, we teach the players what the plays are before we do that. That whole process, although it's anticlimactic, it is part of it, and I can't express the gratitude to everyone to allow me to be up here and to be a part of it. And there's no better time to start this whole process than right now.
Mike, Jim Barry, CBS 4 here in Miami. Welcome to South Florida.
Well, thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
My question is this. Did any of the issues raised by your predecessor in his legal action raise any red flags in your mind about this organization? If not, why not? And if so, how did you resolve them in your own mind?
Red flags, I can honestly say there was absolutely no red flags. And the reason why was because I was stepping into an organization with a boss that I don't think people give it its proper due. Stephen Ross, there's a lot of people in professional sports, that are out to make money. And I mean, I can't lie, I feel like if I'd spend that much money, I'd want to make a lot of money. But like I said, when I walked in that door, you look at every single detail within this building, you look at the people that are hired, you look at just all the extents that there's no cost too high for winning for him. And when you're in multiple organizations, you realize that's not always the case. The city of Miami really is lucky to have an owner that, right, wrong, or indifferent, all he cares about is winning. And as a coach, that's all you are literally looking for. That's all. So red flags? No, there's no red flags for me.
I found that interesting because I talked about that with Stephen Ross. I said that you could tell he wants to win, and you can tell because, he paid for the stadium out of his own pocket. He has no problem making moves, signing free agents, doing what he needs to do to try to win, but he doesn't surround himself with the right people to make those right decisions. So what Mike's saying there isn't wrong. Like, Stephen Ross is trying everything in his power to win, but it's just he's going about it the wrong way. So we'll see if this is the right way. We'll see if this collaboration with Mike McDaniel and Grier and him is the right way.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Cam Wolf, NFL Network. Welcome to South Florida.
What's up, Cam?
How you feeling? Obviously, when you start, the offense start, everything's going to start with the quarterback. What's your belief in Tua and him leading you guys into the next season?
My belief in Tua is that he's a football player on this team that's trying to get better. And the biggest message I have for all players, really, the message should be about the team. And what I mean by that is it's really about the team collectively getting better, and there's a responsibility of the quarterback to do so. But I'm not sitting here concerned with how good Tua can be. I'm concerned with, as a collective unit, what we can grow together, because that's what wins football games. I haven't seen a quarterback win a football game by himself ever, really. He has to have somebody to throw to. He better not be getting tackled before he throws, so somebody better block. And the defense better not allow them to score. But the biggest thing for me with Tua is that I want him to come in and work every day, and I'm very confident that he will. I want to provide teachers that can develop him. I'm very confident in the people we're discussing this week, and the plan we have for that. And ultimately, all you want is a guy that's driven to be great, a guy that's driven to get better, and it gives you a chance. And it's my job to make sure that he has the best chance to showcase his talents. And that's everyone's job, really.
Yeah, I agree. Wholeheartedly agree with what he said there, especially the part where it's team. Because we always notice that when the Dolphins lose, a lot of what you hear is, oh, that's because Tua did this, Tua did that, Tua did this, Tua did that. But then when we win, we hear, oh, the team wasn't that good. The defense, look who they played. Oh, it's because, the defense won them the game. Or you look at the wide receivers and look at we actually had a run. So it's a team. Regardless, win or loss, it's a team sport. So I'm very interested to see what Mike McDaniel can do with Tua. I think if you really work on his footwork and really work on his throwing motion and stuff, I think you're going to see a huge change in the way Tua plays this year. But again, this is the make or break year for Tua, so I'm very interested to see what Mike McDaniel can do.
Hey, Mike, Dave Hyde of the Sun Sentinel. Welcome to over here.
There we are.
You alluded to earlier the Dolphins were the one team to talk to you for interviews. How do you know you're ready for this job? What told you, okay, I'm ready to be a head coach in the NFL?
It's funny that every head coach, there's a lot of talk about being ready to be a new head coach, and I think you guys have had new head coaches. The thing that kind of trips me up is every single head coach in the history of football has never been a head coach until they're a head coach. And for me, the comfort level within the hallways, really it's every year of my experience, especially the last 5 years that head coach Kyle Shanahan in the 49ers, he really relied on me, allowed me to be his right-hand man and open my eyes to all the things that a head coach does. Not to mention all the other years where I've had great teachers. And the key for me is paying attention. It's right in front of me. And so when I do get my opportunity, I've been fully aware whenever that day comes, the responsibility it brings, the responsibility you have to every individual that's employed in the organization, their families, every player. So when they called, I was kind of nervous about an interview, because I don't major in that. I major in connecting with players, teaching them, and helping them grow. But after getting the job, no. I know there's going to be things that are new to me. But it's more about being prepared for the moment, because everybody has to have their first time to do it. And I know that I'm prepared for the moment. I know there's going to be things that are new and challenging, but that doesn't make me nervous because I've been preparing for this my entire career.
He hit the nail on the head with that one, because that's the biggest thing that I'm getting in the comment section and on Twitter is, oh, great, here we go again. Another first-time head coach, just like Joe Philman, just like Adam Gase, just like Brian Flores. Here we go. It's the same stuff over and over again. And, I see where they're coming from because, again, if you go back and you look at my videos, I talked about I prefer to have an experienced head coach versus a first-timer, but I'm not against a first-timer because at one point, Bill Belichick was a first-time head coach. At one point, Mike Tomlin with the Steelers, first-time head coach. John Harbaugh with the Ravens, first-time head coach. Sean McVay, first-time. Matt LaFleur, first-time. All of these head coaches, even the great ones. Don Shula, first-time head coach with the Baltimore Colts. A lot of these great, Bill Walsh, all these guys had to start out as first-timers. So we don't know what this guy is. So a lot of people that are poo-pooing and, oh, God, this guy sucks. And some people are going off of this press conference and the way he talks, which, yeah, is he up there banging on the podium, with a stern voice saying, I will make this team. But no. But give a man a chance to get on the field before you start chastising him and saying, oh, we suck, this is it. Give the man a chance.
Hey, Mike, Marcel Louis-Jacques with ESPN. Welcome to Miami.
That's my 5th welcome to Miami, and I'm feeling welcome.
About to say, just trying to make you feel comfortable.
That's what I mean. I'm just waiting for you to bust out some welcome to Miami and then finish the verse.
I'm not going to do that right now, but maybe later on.
Gotcha.
Once you get your offensive staff kind of put together, what do you foresee that collaboration process being like? Do you plan on calling plays yourself? Is that something that you're going to kind of delegate to your offensive coordinator, or you have another unique system in mind?
Oh, no, I plan on calling plays myself. But one thing that I've noticed in my journey is that successful play callers don't isolate themselves. They utilize the people around them. That's what a head coach should do. I'm not up here doing anything by myself, or I won't be, after this press conference ends, I'm not going to be going into a hole and hanging out by myself and thinking about stuff. You're working with people. So the higher your leadership, with regard to a head coach, the more people you have to lead. As an offensive coordinator, you call plays, but if you're a head coach and calling plays, you better be reliant and feel very good about the people on your offensive staff. So it's been a meticulous process. I think not as meticulous as this head coaching search, apparently, but it's been very meticulous because that's what you're preparing for. I know exactly what the season's going to bring in terms of, there are so many things that go on in the course of the season, and there's stressors, and you have to worry about kind of focusing the direction of the team, but that's why you spend this time in the off season finding the people that you can rely on, that you can trust, and work with, so they can help you game plan, help you solve problems. We can get the best plan together. And then, when the players own the plan, you're just calling plays, but they make them come to life.
I love that he said that he's going to call, it doesn't bother me that he's going to call the offensive play calling. It doesn't bother me at all. I know we got a little bit of PTSD from Adam Gase, but he kind of made me feel better about that by saying he's not going to isolate himself. He's not going to do it by himself. He's not just doing the offense. He's going to have help, collaboration. That's not what a head coach does. So he literally said, without literally saying it, that he's not going to pull an Adam Gase and go sit on the bench when the defense is on the field and jot down notes. So I appreciate that.
Mike, Omar Kelly with Sun Sentinel. I wanted to ask you about your upbringing in the NFL. Gary Kubiak, Shanahan, both father, son. Your background, West Coast offense, heavy run-based offense. Is that sort of a sample of what you believe is winning football in the NFL? And what do you think it takes to win in the NFL from a play call standpoint and scheme standpoint?
I understand what you're getting at with the question. I really like the question, but connecting it to winning, that's a team deal. But for offensively, with regard to scheme, I have an interesting story because I started with Mike Shanahan and immediately went to Gary Kubiak, and it's rare to work 15 years in the NFL across 6 teams and have the same system. So in that, what you end up doing in the same system, you're not constantly trying to relearn how to do things. You're constantly evolving to the point, when you're at your 4th or 5th year within the offense, and then you go to your 3rd team. Now you're reinstalling. So you found it's your 3rd rep of first introducing the same scheme, while also there's a completely different set of players. So within your scheme, you are tailoring it to whoever they are. You go. I mean, what was it? My 2nd year in Washington. Collectively, we drafted Robert Griffin III and ran a bunch of zone read. You know how much zone read experience our staff had? 0. And we didn't go to any clinics. We didn't. We really did it with the old-fashioned hard way grind. And what that afforded all of us, when you're talking about all the guys that were there in Washington, is in our formative years, our minds are open to adapting to whatever means necessary, to whatever player skill sets, all the way to the quarterback. So because of that, every single year, people call our scheme so creative. Really, we're just adapting. We're adapting to defenses. We're adapting to our players. We're constantly evolving. And I think that's important. And that's a winning formula. I think it puts players in position to succeed. And that's the key drive for the scheme. And that's why, it's less trying to be creative for creative's sake. It's more solving problems in different ways and having different tools and abilities to do so.
Yeah. Love it. Love that he didn't say that, oh, yeah, no, we're going to be running the 49ers, this. Or he's going to sit back. He's going to look at what the team is with Tua Tagovailoa, with Jalen Waddle, with, whoever is still on the team. Again, that's another video in itself. And he's going to see what fits best with them, what style of offense fits best with them, whether it's still incorporating some type of RPO because Tua's comfortable with it, incorporating more motion, more, West Coast style because maybe Waddle will fit better in that. If they bring back Mike Gesicki, incorporate him somehow. So I'm very interested to see what he has to say, what he does about that. But I'm happy he talked about it's not about doing a different type of offense. It's about fitting it to the players.
Hey, Mike. Daniel Yafusi with the Miami Herald. I found it interesting that in Steve's comments, he said that you will report to Chris, who then reports to obviously Steve and Tom. And I was curious with the aspect of player personnel, how much say do you anticipate having on that, and how do you foresee you working with Chris on that?
Another attractive, thanks for the tee up. That's another attractive thing about the Miami Dolphins is Chris Grier himself. I think his reputation speaks for itself, but I didn't know him that well. I knew of him, and I worked with his dad previously. But in a short amount of time, if you're picturing that scenario where you report to a GM and you want to work with him, I couldn't create an avatar better for my working relationship than Chris Grier. Why? Because he's of the same vision in that he just wants to win football games, and he understands that the players we acquire better suit the scheme. And it's been obvious in a week and talking to him on the phone and really all the due diligence that I did before I got here, that he's not interested in ego. He's not interested in agenda. He's interested in a bond with the head coach that excels and that beats other people's bonds as GM and head coach. He wants a tied together unit, and he wants to grow together. So how much say? as much as I want to talk, I guess, because there's been no pushback. And I don't ever foresee that ever happening. It's a very comfortable situation for a coach to go into, and honestly, it just helps me worry about coaching football, evaluating players with him, having conversations, and growing together so we could collectively do the best thing for the Miami Dolphins.
So what I'm getting at is that Chris Grier is now the big man on campus. With Brian Flores, he had control of the 53-man roster. Brian Flores had control over the coaching, like who was the assistants. He hired all that, and that's what he controlled. And obviously he had say with the draft picks because they had to fit his scheme and all that stuff. With this, from what I'm getting from Mike McDaniel, is that he has a say, I guess you could say. Like he can give his opinion and everything, but it seems like this is now Chris Grier's roster. So now with the free agent signings, with the moves, like Mike McDaniel just say, he'll talk with them and they'll come to an understanding that, this is the type of play that's going to fit my scheme, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And then essentially it's up to Chris Grier because like he just said, he's going to focus more on the coaching aspect. So it seems like this is Chris Grier's now. And if all of a sudden draft picks are dumb and free agent signings are dumb and letting players go and re-signing players is dumb, that's on Chris Grier. Same with if smart moves are made, that's on Chris Grier. That's what I got. You can tell me if I'm wrong.
Down in front. Josh Moser, Channel 7. Congratulations. We'll switch it up from welcome to Miami.
Wow.
Even though I would love to say bienvenido a Miami.
Oh, no.
You're ready?
You're freezing me up. I don't know what to
I don't
do.
know. For the fans, this organization.
Oh, man. I like his sense of humor. I like... it's different. It's different than Brian Flores. Brian Flores would crack a joke every once in a while in his press conferences. It's more lighthearted with him. Now you can, I'll talk about more about it at the end, but I like this guy so far.
Hasn't won a playoff game in more than 20 years. Why are you the person that will be able to do that?
I mean, why not? Like it's not about me. It's about me, my relationship with players, but it's not an individual ordeal. This is a community of people, a whole group of men, and to me, I see it as an opportunity, really. I know it's obvious to me how true of football fans the Miami Dolphins fan base is because they haven't won a playoff game in 20 years. But you can feel the passion, you can feel the interest. And that just makes it all the more exciting because how great will that feel when collectively we can get it done?
Yep.
And that obstacle is more of something that can really facilitate the end goal because it's a bigger prize. And you just don't worry. I mean, what does the last 20 years have to do with this year? Unless we can take some of those points from those years and apply them to this year, it's irrelevant. Mm-hmm. It's a group of men trying to do a common goal. And I don't really look at the past history except like, hey, it's just going to be that much more gratifying for everyone. And the players can feel that. And I think the players and coaches alike, that will really galvanize them to go after that.
Yeah, I love that he said that because a lot of people like to talk about that. That's the biggest qualm. A lot of us fans would love to win a playoff game. It's been 20 years. We're now the Cincinnati Bengals. It's been a very long time since we've won a playoff game. But I love that he said, what does that have to do with now? What does that have to do with him? Because a lot of people like to equate to that. Oh, the Dolphins have never beaten so and so team, or the Dolphins always do this, and they'll always talk about and go back to different regimes, different coaches, different GMs. When this is new, this person never done any of that, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Hey, Mike in the back.
Mike in the back, what's up?
I'm Yanni from WPBF, West Palm Beach. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. I know you were in a different conference and you didn't play the Dolphins last year. How much of their game tape did you watch or have watched since you were preparing for this job? And do you feel fortunate to inherit a winning team? Most first-year coaches aren't in that situation.
I'd hope I'd watch a lot of it, and which I did. And I did play against the Dolphins in 2020, and we don't need to talk about that game at all. I'm the head coach of the Dolphins now. We kicked the 49ers something. But, no, it's part of the process. You need to know what you're getting into. You need to gather information to understand what the team has gone through. All the game tape, all the situations. It's important to me to understand what to emphasize moving forward. And what I saw was a defense I didn't want to go against. Mm. What I saw was a collective group of people that I could, from the tape, I knew they loved football. And that is such a key component that people undervalue, because there's so many dollars, there's a lot of fame out there for players. But the teams that win, the people love football, and you can feel it, and it's visceral. Mm-hmm. And to win 8 consecutive games, I think it was, to end the season, is you could see players playing hard. You could see a defense that, again, I'm glad that is our defense. And you could see a ton of talent. Guys that weren't listening to the noise, that were trying to win games, and there's a lot of guys that want to get better. Offensively, there's tools, and my job is to help facilitate with all the other coaches and players to put together a product that reflects really what the Miami Dolphins are about.
I'm Mike, Hal Habib with the Palm Beach Post, and I will say for the last time, welcome to Miami. I want to take you way back. We all read the stories about you riding your bicycle to Broncos practice. What was it that made you want to do that? What made you go from being a fan to possibly a student of the game to trying to learn from what you were seeing out there? What inspired you to get into this business?
I appreciate that question. Side note, the irony is that story, my address was on 27th Avenue in Greeley, Colorado. And here we find ourselves, 27th Avenue. So it kind of brings it full circle. But, it's interesting being an only child in anywhere really, but in Colorado, I grew up in a town of like 70,000 people, and I didn't really have much to do. I guess there was a park with a lake with a lot of goose droppings that I could go play at, but other than that, like, the Broncos were the big deal. That was, and again, when I was younger, it was cool to watch something where there was guys from different ethnicities working together. It was the first picture I had of that, which, I noticed when I was at my grandma's house. That it was, so that was kind of intriguing. Football in general, I like football cards, and I was just obsessed with the Denver Broncos at the time. So all I wanted to do was get autographs and be around them. And I was and continue to be pretty obsessive compulsive. So I'd ride there about 7 o'clock in the morning and get as many autographs as I could and stay there till 7 at night and ride back home. But when I did, in doing so, I think it built up the game of football in my eyes. I think I had an appreciation for the amount of work guys did, because I'd get there at 7 and I'd watch them walk from the cafeteria to I can't remember the facility's name, but to the gym and get dressed for practice. Then I'd watch them go practice. I'd try to get autographs when they'd come back in behind the yellow rope. And then I'd watch them go to the lunchroom and then turn back around and go do the same thing again in 2 days. And I think it built sort of this idea that cool things you have to work for in that process. So I wanted to be a pro football player, but I had I had a good awareness level at a young age. The story is true. I wrote inside in my Little League helmet that I will be in the NFL someday, and I had every sticker of every single team. I didn't say I'd play in it. As you get older, you just figure out that, hey, if you want to be good at something, you better be passionate about it. And my OCD made me passionate about one thing, and I chose to go after it.
Loved the press conference. Loved his talking points. I'm very, the more I listened to him, and I probably cut some stuff out because there was some stuff we already heard with his Travis Wingfield conversation. So if you want to watch the full video, it's on their YouTube channel, Miami Dolphins YouTube channel. But I honestly loved what his openness, and it was different. And I liked it. I liked the sense of humor too. That also made me laugh. But this was a nice step in the right direction for me. And okay, now let me see what you can do. He kept talking about a team. He kept talking about bringing in coaches to help. He kept talking about all this good stuff, all this camaraderie, this teamwork stuff. And I'm very interested to see how he puts it together. I think I'm going to start judging him now off of the coaching staff he puts together, the players he cuts, he re-signs, and then I really want to see preseason and then regular season, right? Because when it comes to practice, when it comes to OTAs, when it comes to minicamp, training camp, all that stuff, can't really judge a head coach or a team off of those things, because I've said this every year. In training camp and stuff, you're going up against the same guy consistently, so you pick up on their tendencies, and then offensive might win a bunch of days and the defense wins a bunch of days. But I'm very interested to see how he puts everything together. The next step and my next judgment of him, because this was my first judgment of him, and for me, he passes. I liked his press conference. I loved the way he held himself. I loved his answers. I loved his openness, his willingness to tell it like it is. Boom. Okay, cool. Yeah, some people notice he kind of stutters a little bit. He even talked about having OCD. Me having dyslexia, really appreciated him saying I think in yesterday's video with Travis Wingfield, he said he's a horrible speller when he was talking about his resume and doing it on Excel. I was like, yes, because me being dyslexic, I'm a horrible speller. Also, I pronounce some of these players' names wrong, so some of you guys get very upset with that. Well, deal with that. So, you can see he speaks a little different than a normal head coach would, but I kind of like that. So we'll see how this all pans out. Again, I'm reserving my judgment of him. I'm not over the hill happy with him, but I don't think he sucks because he hasn't done anything for me to go one way or the other. But I really like what he did in this press conference. Now, let's see what coaching staff you could put together. Adding John Embry, great. He's going in the right direction in my mind. Did fantastic things with Kittle and Tony Gonzalez and Cameron Jordan and Cooley. So keep adding those players. We just found out that Gerald Alexander will not be the defense coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can we bring him back as our secondary coach or potentially maybe our DC? We'll see how that all pans out, but that is the video. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think of what he had to say. Again, I cut some stuff out if it was redundant, and he already said it in the Travis Wingfield video that we did last night. So comment below. Let me know what you guys have to think about that. I got a ton of videos planned. When he starts hiring assistants and DCs and OC, I will make videos about that. I'm going to start making videos about who we should cut, re-sign. Then I'm going to start making videos about a ton of stuff. I still have to do the giveaway. I'm going to do Miami Dolphin fan reaction to the 2021 season. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do. We are couple, I think 10, 15 away from 31,000, which is crazy. So other than that, guys, I'll probably see you in the next video. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.